All right, I got to try something. This is the Stockman Grass Farmer, and I highly recommend any of you who are interested in this, please subscribe to this and support them. And what I love the best about this is Joel Salatin's Meadow Talk. And I wanted to read this out loud just to start my day with it and to share it with you guys so you know kind of where I'm coming from, because I agree with what this guy is saying. And as a farmer, coming from a spiritual place where, I healed myself by eating good food and changing the way I thought. And we need to change the way we think about farming, because we need easily 100,000 small farmers in the next 5 to 20 years. So anyway, let me just read this. Meadow Talk, August 2020, Stockman Grass Farmer, Joel Salatin, Food and Farm Security. COVID-19 is changing the food and farm climate in amazing ways that reflect a new awareness within our culture. Add to that the violent protests in urban areas, and many people are either fleeing the city, wanting to flee the city, or at least find a safe harbor. I'm hearing all sorts of interesting nuances in this space and wanted to share them. As Alan Nation, founder of Stockman Grass Farmer, used to say, I'm just a bee pollinating farms with the ideas I pick up here and there. I want to address the new conversations within the farming community. It's not specifically about grass farming, but we grass farmers have the best recipe for capitalizing on these new desires. When grocery store shelves ran out of meat in late March and all of April, it exposed the fragility of the industrial food system. Probably this whole emperor has no clothes. The emperor has no clothes moment was best captured by CNN in an interview with John Tyson, legacy member of industrial agriculture, who said, "The food system is broken." Now we're recording. I just read the whole thing, but it wasn't recording. Oh, God. This article is so good. I want you to just hang with me. Keep going, okay? Please, just give me some time. Listen to the whole thing. Listen to the end. This is important. This could really change your life, and I need you to know about this so that we can have a conversation, okay? Keep going. John Tyson, legacy member of industrial agriculture, who said the food system is broken. Okay, here we go. For a man who spent a lifetime building the industrial food system, to admit that in public was truly significant. Every farm I know that sells directly to the public ran out of product during this time. People crushed our farm store, flocked to the online shopping cart, and emptied our inventory. For 3 days in April, the only beef we had listed was kidneys. That made our customers panic. Many literally envisioned running out of food and going hungry. To say it was a wake-up call would be understating it by magnitudes. For the first time in a long time, it wasn't price or convenience that concerned people. It was availability anywhere at any price. Like many of you, we had folks coming into the farm store who a couple of weeks earlier would have never considered shopping anywhere but a supermarket. Our decision, derided by some, to begin nationwide shipping last July suddenly seemed more fortuitous than ever, as 1/3 of our income dried up, restaurants. But shipping and other retail more than made up for that shortfall, and we've had the best financial spring in our history. I know anybody direct marketing is experiencing the same thing. I've joked that if we had known a pandemic was such a good marketing strategy, we'd have ordered one up several years ago. This experience creates a whole new discussion between direct market farmers and our customers. It goes something like this. When you guys ran out of eggs and had only kidneys for meat, I got scared. How can I make sure that you will take care of me? How can I be your first-class customer? The question is so prevalent that many farmers, including us, are toying with the homemade food insurance premium idea. For example, we offer a certain percentage of our production guaranteed to first-class investors. If a customer wants to be in our top 10% group, she can pay a $1,000 insurance premium for the privilege. No price breaks, just a first dibs guarantee. Just like regular insurance, it's an annual premium. When the crush developed, of course, we were thrilled with all the new customers and new business. But when we began running short of inventory, old customers began complaining that they couldn't get product, that they were being summarily discarded by a new generation of late-coming customers. That didn't sit well with folks who had been with us for 30 years. At our farm, our top priority customers have always been the folks who pre-order. We call them the green sheet patrons because the snail mail order blank is always green, grass farmers after all, and dates back to our beginnings. In recent years, that segment of our customer base has gradually declined as we've installed freezers, farm store, and the convenience of spontaneous shopping. As the coronavirus sales tsunami hit us, we told these new desperate folks to use the green sheet. That was our top priority. That was our first class section. Then we were swamped with new green sheet orders, and we finally declared a moratorium for 2020. The only way you could get a green sheet for 2020 was if you had filled one out in 2019. That was the only way we could serve our old customers. To say these were difficult discussions within our team would be another understatement. Our euphoria over suddenly wiping out our inventory and stashing lots of money in the bank dampened as we dealt with customer backlash and rationing. For the first time in history, we began rationing. And as new accounts called, we put them on a waiting list. We finally quit even that. It was crazy. The point I'm making here is that I see a new opportunity for direct market farmers to serve their most savvy and forward-thinking patrons. Offer first-class status as a food insurance premium. If you had 100 people pay you $1,000 a year just for the privilege of being green sheeters, for example, that would help fill some of the tough edges around inventory management. You might even go on a vacation. Instead of giving a discount for loyalty, let them invest in food security. Planners and investors have first right of refusal. The second big conversation that's developing is the safe haven. I'm calling this an agrarian country club bunker. Once Americans realized that half of our food processing capacity is owned by foreign companies and 90% of our food goes through a handful of mega processors, Americans wanted food security. But then the violent protests erupted in the cities and urban flight began. Suddenly, Americans wanted physical security too. One thing both the pandemic and the violent protests show is this: in crisis, you want to be in the country, not the city. I remember well, a couple of decades ago, as the internet's possibilities became obvious, many gurus prophesied urban decline. Business books talked about occupying space instead of place. The home office was the hottest decor fashion. Alan Nation captured my attention by saying that most people would rather live in the country, and the exodus was upon us. The internet made it possible. I'm going to try a little different view here. But what actually happened between then and now was the opposite. Cities grew and rural areas shrank. Now it looks like all those pundits might have been right, except for the timing. This time it looks like the reverse exodus is in full swing. Urban residences listed for sale and RV ownership are climbing fast. Being able to get out of Dodge is a new holy grail quest. But where do you go? That's where farms come in. Here's another benefit farmers can sell in our new context: security. People with wealth are looking for places to stash their families when the wheels fall off the cultural wagon. In this fast-changing health, political, and economic drama, who knows what the future looks like? It could look a lot like 2019, but it could also look a lot like Kevin Costner's Postman. The post-apocalyptic pundits proliferate daily. In any case, many people want a safe harbor, a basement bunker, to ride out the chaos they see coming. If this concern accelerates, offering a bungalow and food will be another income option for farmers. Obviously, people wanting to pay dues to this agrarian safe haven will quickly develop a checklist of resiliency. If farmers can essentially offer country club memberships for chaos insurance, which farmers will become the most desirable? It won't be the factory farmers. It won't be the row crop farmers. It won't be monocrops and chemical dependence. It'll be the farms that run on solar energy, that can produce the most with the least imported power. And who might that be? Grass farmers with solar energizers and electric fence. We grass farmers are the most resilient production unit in agriculture. Goodness, we can even thrive without seeds if we have to. The animals move themselves, don't require refrigeration, and herbivores can live on nothing but solar energy stockpiled in perennial forages. Imagine today offering a bungalow, you could build some from your own trees if you have a band sawmill, for $50,000, one-time construction fee plus $5,000 annual maintenance fee per family, up to 10 families, that you would agree to feed. Until the agrarian country club bunker needed to be activated, these families could visit their bungalow anytime. Some farmers are looking at tweaking the community-supported agriculture concept into a food insurance program whereby folks pay a premium as an investment and then commit to ongoing monthly food boxes. By offering this plan in 1-year increments, it rewards the most serious patrons. It also incentivizes planning as a concept. In today's convenience-oriented and just-in-time victimhood mentality, anything that rewards long-term thinking is wonderful. The full ramifications of the coronavirus and violent protest phenomena are far from apparent, but the conversations these cultural disruptions are germinating put us grass farmers in the driver's seat of some exciting opportunities. We live in beautiful and strategically wholesome places. We produce the most resilient nutrition in the world. I want to read that again. We live in beautiful and strategically wholesome places. We produce the most resilient nutrition in the world. Perhaps we've been learning our skills and building our families, genetics, and communities for just such a time as this. Just when we wondered if fake meat made us irrelevant, we're suddenly finding ourselves as front and center food insurers. So that's what this is all about. Healing Pastures and Apocalypse Gardens. The last 5 years I've been doing all kinds of research into money. And you can't do any research into money without realizing that money is an abstract concept. Money is an idea. Money is an idea that we use so that we don't have to carry around cows and ducks and chickens. So I can, instead of bringing eggs to trade with you, I can sell my eggs to someone who wants eggs and then bring you that value stored in an idea, in a piece of paper, in a digit on a computer, in wampum, in cigarettes, in something that is portable, that you can convert things of value, like things you can eat, things you can live in, things you can sit on, drive, things that help you do things, right? Those will always have value. What is threatened is how much value we assign to the pieces of paper or the quote-unquote digital dollar. Whether, what is the value of one Bitcoin? That's going up and going down depending on people's interpretation of reality and perception of scarcity and availability and all this kind of thing. This is the human mind at work, people. But it occurred to me 5 years ago when I was looking to see if my songs were showing up on YouTube. They weren't, but this guy named Mark Shepard was showing up on YouTube, who's a regenerative, restorative farmer. And that just led me down a whole rabbit hole of really empowering ideas that we actually don't have to be victims of the modern industrial food system, that we don't have to be victims of the pharmacological industrial medical system, that we actually, just like animals who are being given what they need the most, a healthy environment and plenty of room to move and sunshine and not eating their forage down to the ground where the parasites are, and getting the nutrition and the minerals they need and being allowed to flourish. Health is the natural state. And so if we can actually mimic nature and get back in tune with nature in a profitable way, it's something that an individual, an introvert, a couple of people, a family, a small community, a church can do together to build something that creates food security, not insecurity. Those are my thoughts today. Wow, it's been a good morning so far. I better go finish building a raised bed. Boom.